Okay, good morning to one and all. In the today's class, I am going to explain about A-stable multivibrator using 555 timer. A-stable in the sense the output is not stable with respect to one state. The output is floating between logic high and logic low. Okay, so this is a simple schematic of A-stable multivibrator. In the last class we studied the internal block diagram of 555 timer. So these are all some of the extra connections what we did for the 555 timer. So what are the extra connections we did here? Through VCC we connected two resistors RA and RB in series and one capacitor. Capacitor has been grounded. The collector of the transistor is connected to an junction between the two resistors RA and RB. Okay, so if you want to know the working principle of this A-stable multivibrator, okay, so we are going to apply 5 inputs for this A-stable multivibrator, that is 0, 1/3 VCC, 2/3 VCC and slightly less than 2/3 VCC and slightly less than 1/3 VCC. Okay, these are the 5 inputs what I am supposed to give for an A-stable multivibrator. Okay, so initially I'll assume that the capacitor is discharged through this path through RB through collector and it has been grounded. Means the voltage across the capacitor is 0. If it is 0, the voltage at this junction is 0, then 0 0 will be appeared here. So one thing keep it in your mind, this one is the comparator 1, this is comparator 2. Negative is inverting terminal of the op amp, positive is the non-inverting terminal. So inverting terminal of the comparator 1 is always be 2/3 of VCC. It's fixed value. Okay. The voltage at the non-inverting terminal will be vary. Okay. If you come to comparator 2, the voltage at the non-inverting terminal, that is plus, it's fixed, that is 1/3 VCC. Okay, and the voltage at the inverting terminal will keep on vary based on the input what you feed here. Okay, this is an SR flip-flop, right? R stands for reset, S stands for set, Q is output, Q bar is complement of Q. If both S and R are 0, there will be no change. Previous data will be appeared at the output. If set is 0, reset is 1 means reset 1 means the output should be 0. The output should be 0. Then Q bar will be the complement of that one, that will be 1. If set is 1, then reset is 0, then the output is 1 because set is 1. Therefore the output should be 1 here. And Q bar is complement of Q, you will get 0. If S and R both are 1, if S and R both are 1, then you will get the undetermined output here. This is the truth table for the SR flip-flop. Okay, we are going to study detail the two flip-flops in module 5. So, what I told you here, initially assume that the capacitor is discharged through RB. The voltage at the capacitor is 0. The same 0 volt will be fed here. Okay. So at the non-inverting terminal you have 0. At the inverting terminal you have 2/3 VCC. Here 1/3 VCC. At the inverting terminal you have 0. The same 0 you have been fed here. Okay. So before going to the operation, these two statements are very important. The voltage at plus is greater than the voltage at minus, then the output is 0. Voltage at plus is less than the voltage at minus, then the output is low. Okay, so that one I will apply here. So here you have 0, here you have 2/3 VCC. Okay, so inverting terminal is greater than non-inverting terminal, minus is greater than plus. If minus is greater than plus means the first case the output is 0. So I return 0 here. If you come to here 1/3 VCC and 0, you compare these two. That's why we call comparator. Here if you compare these two, 1/3 VCC is greater than 0. Therefore the output is 1. This is the first one. So R is 0, S is 1. If R is 0, S is 1 means the output is 1, Q bar is 0. Therefore the output is 1, I written in red pen, Q bar is 0. Okay, if it is 0, for base if it is 0, this transistor enters into cutoff region. If transistor enters into cutoff region, this path won't be there. Okay, this path won't be there. Then capacitor will start to charge through VCC, this path. Okay, so capacitor will charge through VCC from here to here. That is for case 1. Right now we are at this point, 1/3 VCC. Okay, when the capacitor charges to 1/3 VCC, that 1/3 VCC will be appeared at this point. That is case 2. Now you check it. Here you have the second case 1/3 VCC, here you have 2/3 VCC. So inverting is greater than non-inverting. Again the output will be 0. Second case. If you come to here, 1/3 VCC you have here 1/3 VCC. Okay. So here what will happen? This is slightly greater than this one. Therefore inverting is greater than non-inverting. Therefore the output is 0. Okay. So if both are 0, previous data had been stored. What is the previous output you got here? I written P here. Previous data is 1, the output is 1. Previous data is 0, 0 had been here. So base entered into transistor entered into cutoff region. Again this path won't be there. Okay, the capacitor will start to charge, will start to continue the charge from 1/3 VCC to 2/3 VCC. Therefore you will get the waveform like this, from 1/3 VCC to 2/3 VCC. This is for case 2. Case 3. What is the case 3 you have to consider? Case 3 you have to consider 2/3 VCC. Now right now the capacitor has been charged to 2/3 VCC. That 2/3 VCC has been fed here. Here you have 2/3 VCC, here you have 2/3 VCC, but this is slightly greater than this one. Therefore inverting is greater, non-inverting is greater than inverting means the output is 1. Here you have 2/3 VCC, 1/3 VCC. Inverting is greater than non-inverting, the output is 0. 1 and 0. Reset is 1, set is 0. Therefore the output is 0. This will be 1. If you get base 1, then this transistor enters into saturation region. Right? When it enters into saturation region, what will happen? Whatever you have the charge in the capacitor, it will start to discharge through this path, through RB. Okay, so it will start to discharge. Therefore for case 3 it will start to discharge. Okay, then what will happen? Again you have to consider, totally 3 cases are over. Next you have to consider less than 2/3 VCC. Okay, if you consider less than 2/3 VCC means this point. For case 4 you have to consider less than 2/3 VCC but greater than 1/3 VCC, this path. For case 4 less than 2/3 VCC you apply for both the cases. So here this is greater than this one, therefore the output is 0. Here you have less than 2/3 VCC, you have 2/3 VCC, therefore this is greater than this value, therefore the output is 0. Here you have less than 2/3 VCC, 1/3 VCC, but this is greater than 1/3 VCC, this is greater than this one, again the output is 0. If both are 0, then previous state output retain. What is the previous state output? that is 0, I return 0. Here you have 1, I return 1. 1 means this transistor enters into saturation region, therefore the capacitor will start to discharge through RB. Therefore this capacitor will start to discharge like this for case 4. For case 5, slightly less than 1/3 VCC, but slightly less than 1/3 VCC. Okay, that one you have to consider. When it is less than 1/3 VCC, it is 2/3 VCC. This is greater than this one. Again, the output is 0. Less than 1/3 VCC. This is greater than this one. The output is 1. 0, 1. Set is 1. The output is 1. This is 0. 0 means this transistor enters into cutoff region. When it enters into cutoff region, this path won't be there. The capacitor will start to charge through RA and RB. Okay, then we will get the waveform like this. It will start to charge. Okay, like this we will get the waveform charge and discharging of the capacitor. Okay, so I hope you understood the working of this A-stable multivibrator along with an SR flip-flop. Okay, and here one more important concept you have to remember. There is an charging and discharging time. Okay, so these are some of the formulas you have to remember. Okay, so duty cycle